I know that my best customers for those beer courses were the ones that had some education around the hobby. And it took the free content to do that. That's how I could use that free content to prepare them for the course.
Hey, Dr. Bill here with another great, I know it'll be great, Meet the Mentor. So last weekend, Saturday, I was at Metal, which is our men's networking group, and I met Billy there. And I loved the fact that he was so ambitious and that he wanted to share his knowledge with all you young students. So we talked him into coming in and doing our Meet the Mentor. So I'm going to read you a little bio on Billy, and we'll get right into it. So this is Billy Bross. He is an online marketing expert. Interesting thing is that he was in corporate America working away, and he started this little side business, and the side business was teaching online courses in beer brewing, and that just took off. And so he kind of created that niche now, and what he does is he helps other entrepreneurs and other marketers learn how to market their courses and enroll people and get them to buy these courses. And not only do they learn skills or learn different kinds of industries, but sometimes it even leads to product sales and things like that. So without further ado, Billy, thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me. Very excited.
What was the passion with brewing beer?
Oh, just a crazy thing my roommate and I got into in college. It really became a passion of mine. I really geeked out on the whole craft beer scene and making your own beer at home. And then that eventually led to the side business that you mentioned.
So once you learned how to brew beer, and by the way, it could be anything. It could be brewing beer, it could be baking, it could be making, whatever. Then you put that into...
It was a passion.
Right. You put that into courses, right?
Right.
So how many courses did you actually create for the brewing?
Over the course of the whole website, I created about 5 or 6 different courses, but it just started with one.
And then like advanced beer brewing and...
Yeah, then eventually I even had a beer tasting course. That was the coolest one because we were all on pretty much a live stream together, me and all the students, and we're all tasting the same beer at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So I'm also a beer judge. That's something I do. I judge at competitions. So I'm pretty good at walking people through the beer, how to analyze it, and verbalize what they're tasting. And so we would do that. We would taste the same beer together, and I would say, yeah, this flavor is coming from the hops. This is coming from the malt. And everyone's typing in what they were tasting.
That's interesting.
So that was a lot of fun. But
So the courses you created were about how long?
So most of them were on demand, so you could go through them whenever you want, just pre-recorded videos.
Is it like a half hour, hour? Or?
Usually a few hours.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? One course was a few hours?
Yeah, well, teaching someone how to brew beer takes a decent amount of time. There's a lot of little steps in it. So that course, which was the most popular for beginners getting started, yeah, that was quite a big course.
And did you sell them as like a package, like all 6 courses, or you buy one at a time, or?
One at a time, yeah. And one would naturally lead into the other one. So once they got off the ground with their beer brewing hobby, it would lead them into a more advanced course, or maybe the tasting course.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you start doing this beer brewing business by selling courses,
right.
And then eventually you said you sold that, and now can you kind of explain to these guys what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest challenge I had with that business, because that was a side business, and I was trying to use that to get out of the corporate world. I liked it there, but I always wanted to do my own thing. So the biggest challenge was getting people to buy these courses, right? So getting people to my website. And as I had some success doing that with the beer brewing site, friends of mine, other people selling courses started to take notice. And they said, Billy, you've done a great job in getting people to your website buying your courses. Can you help me out? And so that became my next big passion, was helping out these other businesses, people doing something very similar to what I was doing. And they were experts in what they were doing. They were either subject matter experts or coaches, consultants, and they had a great product that could really help out their customers, but they didn't know how to get it out into the world.
So how'd you do it?
Well, for me, the first phase of my business was like the word of mouth marketing, because word did spread about it. I got traffic from Google because I wrote a lot of blog posts, but eventually I hit a ceiling there and I couldn't grow it. So I actually turned to advertising. and mainly running Facebook ads. And that's actually normally where I start my clients today, is running ads on Facebook to promote their online courses.
All right. So you start off with Facebook ads and you start to get traction. What other things did you use besides that?
Well, Facebook is great for getting people to your website, but it's not great for actually selling the courses. So the strategy that really made a big difference for me was using the advertisements to get people onto my email list. And that's something, if I were to go back and do it again, I know I did well, but I could have had quicker success if I would have focused on building that email list earlier. Because you do want that list where you can build a relationship, keep in contact with them over time, they build up trust with you.
And send them info.
And then send them info, yeah.
So basically what you were doing initially then was you were using Facebook to get these people to your site, and then you were asking them if they want more information, please give us your email address, and then you built up a whole library of people's email addresses where you could then go out and send them more information and kind of bring them in and
exactly.
keep giving them value.
Yeah, my key thing is some people try to go for the sale right away, but if you show an ad to someone who's never heard of you before and you're asking for a sale, especially on Facebook,
right?
Because people don't go on Facebook to buy things.
Right.
So if you do that, it doesn't work too well. So I
That's
would say,
interesting. I like that.
Yeah, so I like to lead with value. So instead of the first message for me being, hey, buy my thing, the first message is, hey, here's this cool thing for you. And so if you give value first, then you can ask for something later on, like their email address.
Okay, so you were running this, then you said you sold your business. When did you do that?
That was last year, yeah, 2017.
And now you're doing what?
Now I'm helping other people who sell online courses market their businesses.
And how do you get clients to do that?
A lot of it is really just, it's funny because I do advertising online, but a lot of it is just from hugs and handshakes, from meeting people in person, going to events. This community of online marketers, online course creators, they like to go to conferences and meet up in person. So I'm very active in the community, and I'm able to get a lot of referrals that way.
Can you talk about some of the businesses that you're working with, or?
Yeah, sure. So I got some really interesting ones. I think it's because homebrewing was kind of a weird niche, kind of a fun thing. So I'm naturally attracted to businesses like that, and I think they're attracted to me. So, so I have one client who teaches computer programming, and he actually made over 6 figures his very first year selling computer programming courses. Yeah.
How many courses has he created?
Just 2.
Wow, just 2 courses, and how long is each course?
Those are about 8 weeks. Yeah, 8 modules, so they go through 1 week at a time. And yeah, he's got it's cleverprogrammer.com. You can check it out. He's got a ton of YouTube subscribers, and he's just doing really well. Way better than I did my first year.
So you basically did the same kind of thing where you went out on Facebook and you started, you know, getting information. You got people's email addresses, and then you started sending them information, encouraging them if they want more information, they could buy the course.
Yeah, exactly. I helped him build his email list. He had some organic traffic coming from YouTube, just like I did. Mine was mainly coming from Google. But then we just amplified that with the advertising, used that strategy of delivering value first. He creates great content, and they trusted him. And then when he said, yeah, I have a paid course for you, a lot of people bought it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a student out there that really wants to do the same kind of thing that you're doing, like how do they learn this business? You know, where would they actually become an expert in doing what you're doing?
I would tell them to start creating content. First, choose who they want to serve. So the most important thing is to figure out who your customer is and get in front of them. So wherever they hang out. And you don't need to pay money for advertising at first. Actually, I recommend you don't. I recommend you use free methods at first, like your Facebook page or Google or YouTube. And then learn what the customers really want. Because the key thing is that you don't want to sell them what you want to sell them. You want to sell them what they want to buy.
Exactly.
And you only learn that by talking to them. I would get on the phone with my email subscribers. I would email them and say, hey, can we chat for 20 minutes? I don't want to sell you anything, I just want to learn. And then I would write down all the key phrases they would say, and then I could use that in my marketing. And then when they read that, they're like, oh man, he's like inside my head. And that's not something that's very scalable, it's not very automated, but it makes all the difference. Because then when you do go to advertising and you do scale, you know you're building upon a solid foundation. And you know that you nailed your customer, we call it a customer avatar.
I think that is genius.
Thank you.
I love that. No, I love that. I think that that's really, really clever, you know, because you're right. Your customer is basically writing your ad campaign for you as you talk.
Yeah,
That's
I did
great.
when I got into selling the online course, so my background, I got an MBA, had a very formal business background, but that doesn't teach you how to be an entrepreneur.
No.
It doesn't teach you how to sell.
No, and that's the whole thing with Leap is, you
Right.
know, school doesn't teach you how to be successful in business. We do. So,
Yeah, and I could do financial models for these multi-million-dollar power plants because I was working in the power industry, but I didn't know how to sell my little beer brewing course, right? So I hired a copywriting mentor, and copywriting is salesmanship in print, so the art of selling through the written word. And that's where I really learned that 80% of what a copywriter does is not writing, but research, customer research. So that's how I got into the habit of talking to my customers on the phone.
Yeah, totally. Well, listen, Leap Week is July 22nd to the 28th, but I would love to have you there. I think the students would really...
I'd love to be there.
Yeah, would really
Yeah,
do
that
it.
sounds
All right,
fun. Cool.
we're in.
Awesome.
All right, so you guys, I am off to Chicago. I'm speaking at the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. I'll have probably a few hundred dental students there. I'm probably speaking to a few thousand dentists with my good friend Dennis Wells, Deborah King, Larry Rosenthal. He's from New York, she's from the South. Dennis is from Tennessee and the South also, and we're going to do a really cool marketing course at the AACD. I'm super duper excited about that, and next week we'll have another great Meet the Mentor. Until then, Dr. Bill, over and out.